In my 30 years of watching people, I've learned that he who has overcome his fears will truly be free. Aristotle. Chapter 1. The Silent Poison. Silent poison, they told you to suppress, to internalize, but this false strength, this control facade, it's a dagger, ever poised to strike your own heart. Invisible chain that binds your every move. 2,000 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli understood that the greatest threats often grow, not from external enemies, but from the unseen decay within a system. You believe you are exercising control, mastering your emotions by holding them back, by letting the frustration simmer beneath the surface. This is a lie they sold you. They tell you that a calm demeanor is a sign of strength, that a muted response projects power. But what you call self-control, what you parade as patience, is often just passive anger, festering deep inside. It's not a shield. It's a slow leak, draining your energy, clouding your judgment, and robbing you of the direct power you could wield. This silent fury doesn't vanish. It doesn't disappear just because you choose not to scream. Instead, it reroutes. It manifests as sharp cynicism, as cutting sarcasm, delivered with a smile, as subtle sabotage in your relationships and your work. Your boundaries erode not because others push them, but because you refuse to defend them directly, letting resentment build until it cracks your foundation. Think about the friend who always forgets your requests, or the colleague who constantly misses deadlines, yet you never address it head-on. You tell yourself it's not worth the fight, that it's easier to just deal with it. But every silent compromise, every unspoken grievance, adds another drop to the internal well of bitterness. You are not protecting yourself. You are infecting yourself. You are infecting yourself. What you perceive as keeping the peace is actually inviting invasion, because those around you sense the lack of direct response. They see the unspoken permission. They watch as you absorb hits without a direct counter, and they adjust their behavior accordingly, pushing further, taking more. You become a doormat, not a strategist. This isn't about being loud or aggressive. It's about being precise. It's about the cost of what you refuse to say, what you refuse to defend, what you refuse to bend, what you refuse to demand. That suppressed anger doesn't make you powerful. It makes you predictable. A ticking clock others can learn to read, waiting for the inevitable, unfocused explosion. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, understood this deeply when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He saw that true mastery comes from confronting internal states, not from burying them. Your passive anger shows a lack of mastery over your own mind, allowing an internal event to control your external behavior without you even realizing it. If you don't acknowledge this silent poison, it will warp your perception. It will twist your interactions. It will dictate your choices, driving you towards self-sabotage, pushing away opportunities, and isolating you from genuine connection. You will find yourself exhausted, confused, and increasingly resentful, yet unable to pinpoint the source of your decline. But there's another layer to this decay, a deeper strategy you might unknowingly employ, one that turns this internal poison into a weapon you point at yourself. What is it? Chapter 2. Your hidden chains. Silent assassins. This internal decay, this slow poison, is more dangerous than any external foe. Master it, or it will master you. This hidden enemy is your own quiet sabotage, a slow bleed caused by unacknowledged rage. It festers beneath the surface, a venom that doesn't explode outwards but corrodes from within, silently dismantling your progress. What Sigmund Freud understood is that what you repress does not disappear. It returns in distorted forms, Your passive anger manifests as procrastination, as missed deadlines, as a pervasive sense of victimhood that excuses your inaction. This isn't just an annoyance. It is a tactical error that destroys your foundation. It drains your motivation. It cripples your initiative, leaving you feeling stuck, paralyzed by an invisible force. You find yourself creating obstacles where none exist, resisting the very steps that would bring you closer to your goals. This internal warfare ensures you never truly commit, never truly succeed, because a part of you is always fighting against yourself. Think about the subtle ways this plays out in your daily life. You agree to a task, then forget crucial details or delay it until it's too late. You feel resentful towards others, but express it through backhanded compliments or a perpetual air of passive complaint. This behavior creates a wall around you, pushing away allies and attracting friction, all while you maintain plausible deniability. You are punishing the world and yourself without ever throwing a single punch. Here's how you begin to disarm this internal weapon. You must confront the source of that quiet fury. Identify the expectations that were unmet, the boundaries that were crossed, the perceived injustices that you never addressed. This isn't about grand confrontations. It's about internal honesty. It means tracing the roots of your subtle resistance back to the moment the seed of anger was planted, the moment you chose silence over assertion. Most people prefer the comfort of passive aggression, blaming external forces for their stagnation. They hide their resentment behind a mask of indifference, hoping the world will somehow notice their pain and rectify it. This is a weakness. It signals to others that you are unwilling to fight for your own space, that you are easily manipulated by unspoken emotional blackmail. But the strategist understands that true power comes from owning your emotional landscape. Lao Tzu said, "Knowing others is intelligence, knowing yourself is true wisdom." What he understood is that the most dangerous traps are often those you set for yourself. By recognizing these hidden chains of passive anger, you reclaim the energy that was once bound up in quiet protest and redirect it towards decisive action. You stop bleeding out your power in slow, unnoticed drips. Chapter 3. The Draining Ache. Invisible wounds. This internal hemorrhage is a persistent enemy of the prince within you, silently eroding your power. It is a subtle sabotage of your strategic mind. That bleeding is often internal, unseen by others, yet devastating to your core. The silent poison of passive anger is not just about what it stops you from doing. It's about what it actively drains from your reservoir of mental power. Every unresolved resentment, every unspoken frustration, every quiet capitulation acts as a small, insidious leak, siphoning off your focus and your drive. You walk through your day feeling a vague exhaustion, a low-grade irritation that you can't quite pinpoint, but it gnaws at your ability to think clearly, to plan, to execute. This internal hemorrhage is a profound cost to your strategic clarity. Seneca, the Roman Stoic, understood this destructive force, writing that anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. He saw that the energy consumed by holding on to a grudge, by performing compliance while seething inside, is energy you cannot deploy for your own advancement. It's a constant background process, running silently, consuming your processing power, leaving less for the actual challenges you face. Watch what happens when someone is constantly slighted, ignored, or taken advantage of, but never confronts the issue directly. They might smile, agree, even offer to help, but inside, a slow burn eats at their focus. Their decisions become cloudy, their reactions delayed, because a significant portion of their internal processing power is dedicated to managing this unexpressed fury. They become less sharp, less decisive, making errors they otherwise wouldn't. Sealing these leaks requires brutal self-awareness. First, identify the specific incidents, the precise individuals or situations that trigger this passive rage within you. Second, calculate the true cost of not addressing it. What opportunities are you missing because your mind is preoccupied? What clarity are you sacrificing for the illusion of peace? Then, you translate that passive anger not into an explosion, but into a clear, cold demand or a firm boundary. Most people let these leaks fester, believing that silence is strength or that confrontation is always weakness. They become a slow-motion car crash of their own potential, perpetually exhausted and subtly sabotaged by their own unacknowledged rage. But the strategist understands that ignoring a wound only invites infection. It doesn't make it disappear. Aristotle, in his ethical teachings, put it plainly. Anyone can become angry, that is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose and in the right way, that is not within everyone's power and is not easy. He wasn't advocating for quiet suffering, he was demanding precision and control. You don't have to shout to be heard, but you must make yourself understood, decisively and without apology, channeling that internal fire into deliberate action. Failure to do so leads to the next trap, an insidious mechanism where your unexpressed anger begins to work against you in the most subtle yet devastating ways. What is it? Chapter 4. Mirrors of Malice. Beware the enemy within. This chapter reveals how your own unacknowledged darkness corrupts your judgment, turning you into an unwitting pawn in your own demise. This is the trap of projection, a silent killer of your judgment. Your unacknowledged, passive anger doesn't simply vanish. It twists your perception, coloring the world around you with its own venom. You begin to see malice where none exists. You interpret neutral actions as deliberate slights, and every shadow becomes an enemy. As Carl Jung once wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. What he understood is that what you refuse to confront within yourself will inevitably spill out, defining your external reality. This destroys you because you start fighting ghosts. You dedicate your energy, your focus, your strategic resources to battling imagined threats. You alienate potential allies by responding to their innocent gestures with suspicion or hostility. Your attempts to defend yourself against phantoms only create real conflict, turning benign situations into battlegrounds. This drain is silent, invisible, but relentless. Think about the quiet leader who seethes at perceived disrespect, never addressing it directly. They start seeing every subordinate as plotting against them, every suggestion as a challenge to their authority. They become paranoid, isolated. They make decisions based on fear, not fact. They sabotage their own network, turning their loyalists into adversaries, all because they refuse to acknowledge the simmering resentment within their own core. Here's how you dismantle these mirrors of malice. First, you must confront the hidden anger within you, trace its source. Is it a past betrayal, an unfulfilled ambition, a constant feeling of being overlooked? Name it, understand it. Do not suppress it, but rather dissect it, like a surgeon examining a tumor. Only when you bring it into the harsh light can you distinguish between genuine external threats and the internal projections of your own unresolved fury. If you continue to believe that every slight is intentional, every delay a sabotage, every differing opinion an attack, people will eventually grow tired. They will distance themselves. They will confirm your false reality by retreating, leaving you alone to stew in your self-created isolation. But if you quietly acknowledge your own wellspring of anger, if you recognize when your perception is being warped, you gain a critical advantage. You stop reacting to shadows and start engaging with reality. Confucius spoke of the importance of self-cultivation and harmonious relationships, famously stating, "What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others." He understood that true power comes from an inner consistency, a clarity that prevents you from imposing your own internal chaos onto the world. If you constantly project your anger onto others, you are effectively doing to them what you secretly fear is being done to you, creating the very disharmony you dread. This clarity of vision allows you to see the true nature of challenges. It lets you identify actual adversaries and distinguish them from those who are merely indifferent or even supportive. You conserve your force, you deploy it only when necessary, and you aim it at real targets, not reflections of your own inner turmoil. But even when you master this, another subtle trap awaits, one that plays directly into your need for validation. What is it? Chapter 5, The Brittle Mask. The brittle mask, a dangerous deception. You think you rule your emotions, but they rule you. This chapter reveals how that quiet venom makes you vulnerable. The brittle mask. This is the false composure you wear, fueled by unspoken resentments and unaddressed slights. You believe you are maintaining control, projecting an image of calm strength, but what you are actually doing is internalizing a toxic sludge. It sits there, slowly eroding your genuine resilience, making you stiff and unresponsive when true agility is required. This slow poison of passive anger creates a facade of power that is incredibly fragile. You feel strong because you're not exploding, not reacting, not letting them see you sweat. But that internal suppression is not strength. It is a pressure cooker building towards an inevitable rupture. You think you're holding a poker face, but you're just holding your breath until you turn blue. Watch what happens when someone truly pushes against this mask. A direct challenge, an unexpected betrayal, a moment where your carefully constructed image is truly threatened. The calm shatters. The quiet contempt erupts into a disproportionate fury, an ugly lashing out that exposes the raw, untamed emotion beneath. They see the real weakness, the lack of true control. Your composure becomes brittle, your reactions unpredictable. Here's how you dismantle this weakness. You must confront the source of the passive anger, either internally or externally. If it's a situation you cannot change, you must consciously, deliberately release it. Let it go. Not in a performative way, but through a genuine shift in your internal state. If it's a person, you address the issue head-on, or you strategically distance yourself. No more slow burning. If you allow passive anger to fester, you become a walking bomb, predictable in your eventual collapse. People learn to prod you, to wait for the moment your internal pressure blows. But if you refuse to let it take root, if you either resolve the conflict or genuinely divest from it, there is no pressure to build. You become fluid, adaptable, and genuinely unpredictable. There is nothing for them to break. Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster." Your passive anger, when left unchecked, turns you into your own worst monster. It gnaws at your authentic self, preventing you from developing true, robust strength that comes from conscious engagement, not silent suffering. You think you're above the fray, but you're just festering in it. The path to real power lies in self-awareness, not self-deception. As Socrates famously declared, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. He understood that the first step to mastering anything, especially your own internal world, is to admit what you don't know, to examine the hidden corners of your mind. Passive anger is a blind spot, a part of your emotional landscape you refuse to examine, believing it to be a strength when it is in fact a deep vulnerability. You must know yourself fully to truly control yourself. This constant examination of your internal landscape, this refusal to let unaddressed emotions rot within you, is the hallmark of genuine strategic power. It keeps your mind clear, your intentions pure, and your actions precise. Chapter 6. There, invisible strings. Invisible strings. The most potent chains are those you don't even see. They bind your will, dictate your steps, all through the subtle dance of your own unaddressed anger. The constant examination of your internal landscape keeps your mind clear, your intentions pure. But that clarity becomes a weapon when you refuse to deal with your passive anger. Others don't need your rage, they just need to feel its shadow, anticipate your flinch, know your unspoken resentment. This is how they attach invisible strings, pulling you, dictating your moves without direct orders. Consider the colleague who consistently dumps unfinished tasks on your desk. They don't confront or demand. They simply present the situation and wait for your predictable silence, your quiet compliance. This isn't accidental. This is strategic exploitation of your known avoidance, your reluctance for direct conflict. Your passive anger becomes a green light for their behavior. When you allow this, your resentment festers, your energy drains, your will erodes. Each violation, each unspoken slight, builds a prison of your own making, constructed from your inability to confront. They learn your patterns, your unspoken boundaries, pushing them inch by inch. Your anger, instead of protecting you, becomes the mechanism of your control. Here's how you break these strings. Identify the quiet resentments. Name the specific actions that trigger your passive anger. Is it the late friend, the condescending family member, the overloaded plate from your boss? Pinpoint the source. If you announce irritation, broadcasting displeasure without a clear demand, they will simply adapt. They will find new ways to exploit your emotional tells, new angles. They will mock your weakness. Instead, address the behavior directly, calmly, with a predefined outcome. This task is not mine. I will not be doing it. No room for debate. What Winston Churchill understood about facing threats applied to internal ones. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. He meant the courage to face uncomfortable truth. Speak it plainly, listen to reality. You must have the courage to name the exploitation, face the quiet tyranny, cut the strings that bind you. Fools let others orchestrate their life through unspoken agreements and predictable reactions. They believe silence is strength, but it is just a clear signpost for manipulation. The strategist understands every silent resentment is a potential ingress for others, a weak spot. Allowing invisible strings means surrendering autonomy. Napoleon Bonaparte, a master of human will, often remarked on decisive action. He would not have tolerated the slow erosion of control passive anger invites. He understood hesitation and unspoken grievances were vulnerabilities to be exploited. He would say, take time to deliberate, but when the time for action has arrived, stop thinking and go in. Don't deliberate forever, act. You sever these strings not with drama, but with surgical precision. Identify the pattern. Confront the specific action, not the person. Enforce a boundary. The moment you act, you reclaim the territory taken from you. You move from being pulled by invisible threads to holding the scissors. This quiet dominion, however, relies on another vulnerability you possess, your desperate need for external validation. What is that need, and how does it create yet another opening for control? Chapter 7. Weaponizing stillness. Flinch, explain, react, a puppet on their strings. But what if you cut them? What if your stillness became your blade? That desperate need for validation, that craving to be understood, becomes a magnet for those who seek control. It makes you flinch. It makes you explain. It makes you explain. It makes you react. And that reaction, especially when fueled by anger, is what they want. They pull a string, and you dance. This impulsive dance, this explosion of emotion, reveals your hand and drains your power. Your reactive anger, the kind that burns hot and fast, is a self-inflicted wound. It blinds you, it clouds your judgment. It makes you telegraph your next move to anyone paying attention, turning your raw energy into a predictable spectacle for your enemies. This loss of control is a gift to anyone looking to exploit your weaknesses. Think about a time you lashed out, fueled by righteous anger or injustice. You spoke too soon. You revealed too much. You gave away information, exposed vulnerabilities, and left yourself open to counterattack because you couldn't hold your tongue. That impulsive fury felt good for a second, but then the fallout hit, leaving you weaker, not stronger. True power lies not in suppressing anger, but in weaponizing a different force, stillness. It means feeling the heat of betrayal, the sting of disrespect, the cold dread of injustice, yet doing nothing externally. You hold it, you observe it. You let it wash over you without moving your hand or mouth. This is the strategic pause. This is where you separate yourself from the raw emotion, turning it into a data point instead of a directive. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary swordmaster, understood this deeply. Do nothing which is not of use, he advised. He taught you must observe your opponent's state, his rhythm, his intentions, and only then, with a clear mind, make your move. Your anger, if unchanneled, becomes a weapon aimed at yourself. You do not extinguish the fire, you contain it, you watch it burn inside you, but your face remains unreadable, your voice calm, your body still. This stillness is not inaction. It is the most potent form of observation. It allows you to see the true landscape, the actual play, without the distortion of your own emotional turmoil. This cold, dispassionate analysis of both your internal state and the external situation is a skill from masters of observation. Leonardo da Vinci, with his insatiable curiosity, dissected everything from human anatomy to the flow of water. He said, "The eye sees a thing more clearly when it is observed at a distance. This illustrates the power of detachment to truly grasp the mechanics of what you face, including your own anger." So, when the rage builds, when the impulse to strike back is overwhelming, you do nothing. You sit in that discomfort. You let the anger clarify your vision, sharpen your focus, harden your resolve, but you do not let it dictate your immediate response. You use its energy to analyze, to plan, to uncover the hidden motives and vulnerabilities of those who provoked you. The fool erupts, screams, and reveals every weakness. He gives his enemies a clear target and a roadmap to dismantle him. He believes his outburst is strength, but it is just a plea for attention, a cry for validation. He bleeds out in the open, convinced he is fighting. You, however, become a silent observer, a strategizer. Your anger becomes fuel for the engine of your mind, not a grenade tossed blindly. There is no drama, there is no drama, there is no spectacle. There is only a quiet, relentless study of the game and a cold calculation of the precise counter-move. When they prod you for a reaction, when they expect the usual explosion, they will find nothing. They will hit a wall of impenetrable calm. This absence of response, this refusal to play their game, is often more unsettling, more disarming than any shout or threat. It forces them to reveal their hand. This weaponized stillness, however, demands absolute self-control. Chapter 8. Root and Removal. The roots, the unseen anchors. We speak now of what truly feeds your inner turmoil. Unearth these ancient wounds, and you shall command your future. But self-control alone is a temporary dam. To truly master your internal landscape, you must go deeper. You must find the hidden currents that feed the passive anger, the unseen roots that anchor your destructive patterns. The real problem is not the anger itself, but its source. It is never truly about the small slight in front of you. It is about the ghost in the room. The unaddressed wound from years ago, the betrayal you never processed, the constant internal friction you avoid. This unresolved past becomes the deep well from which every present frustration draws its poison. This unacknowledged root saps your strength, draining your focus and clouding your judgment. It makes you disproportionately reactive to minor provocations, turning you into a puppet on strings pulled by old memories and unresolved pain. You become predictable in your unpredictability, leaking power with every unconscious flinch. Think about those moments when a minor comment from a colleague or a fleeting annoyance from a loved one sends a familiar tremor through you, a silent surge of resentment or a desire to withdraw. That response, so sharp and out of proportion, is not about their words. It is the echo of an older, deeper wound, vibrating in your present. Here's how you dissect it. When that familiar internal tremor strikes, do not react outwardly. Instead, turn inward. Ask yourself, What does this sensation remind me of? What past event? What specific person? What unresolved conflict does this current moment mirror? You are not dwelling. You are tracing the lineage of your pain. What Albert Einstein understood is that true mastery begins not with action, but with clarity. He once said that if he had an hour to solve a problem, he would spend the first 55 minutes defining the problem itself. Your passive anger is a problem. Your first step is to precisely define its original trigger, its genesis, not just its current manifestation. Once you have identified the true root, you isolate it. This is not about forgetting or denying the past, it is about recognizing it for what it is, a historical event. You separate the memory from its lingering power over your present. You build a wall around that past moment, so it cannot continue to contaminate your current interactions. Then, you neutralize its influence. You starve it. You refuse to give it the emotional energy it craves. You acknowledge its existence, but you do not allow it to dictate your responses. You do not let it fester in the dark. You bring it into the light of conscious awareness, not for forgiveness, but for tactical disempowerment. If you ignore these roots, they continue to tangle and spread, choking your potential. You will repeat the same destructive patterns, blaming others for reactions born of your own unexamined history. But if you surgically expose and disarm these origins, you reclaim the power they have silently stolen from you for years. Abraham Lincoln, a man who faced unimaginable internal and external strife, understood the necessity of internal unity for external strength. He once observed, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Your inner world, fractured by unaddressed resentments, is that divided house. Only by understanding and then pacifying the warring factions within can you truly stand firm. This process is cold, clinical, and precise. It is not about emotional catharsis. It is about strategic removal of a weakness. You are not a victim of your past, you are the surgeon operating on it. Watch what happens when you cut these supply lines. The passive anger, deprived of its fuel, begins to wither. The disproportionate reactions cease. Your energy, once wasted on internal conflict, is now free. Chapter 9. Your silent commander. Control, true power. It isn't about crushing enemies, but mastering yourself, this silent commander within you, your ultimate weapon, your unseen hand guiding every destiny. The energy you reclaim, once fragmented by silent fury, is not just restored, it is consolidated. It funnels into a singular, unwavering force. This is your silent commander, the integrated authority that governs every impulse, every reaction, every strategic move you make. It is the core of your being, no longer leaking power, but channeling it. This internal governance is what great thinkers have always pointed towards. Plato, centuries ago, described the soul as a charioteer managing two horses, one noble, one unruly. What he understood is that your reason, your conscious will, must be the charioteer, not allowing the wild horse of unexamined emotion or passive anger to drag you off course. When you master yourself, you are not suppressing, you are directing. Your passive anger, once a hidden enemy, transforms into a resource. You can tap into its raw intensity, its deep-seated drive, and repurpose it. It becomes fuel for relentless execution, for an unyielding pursuit of your objectives. This is not about being angry. It is about using the energy of anger without its corrosive effects. Watch what happens when you fully integrate this power. You move with a quiet confidence that needs no validation. Your decisions are clean, unburdened by internal conflict or the need to punish old slights. Others sense this shift. They see the stillness, the impenetrable calm that masks a formidable internal engine. The reactive individual is a puppet, yanked by invisible strings of past hurts and unexpressed rage. They lash out, they withdraw, they sabotage, but the silent commander operates with surgical precision, observing, analyzing, and acting only when strategic. There is no wasted movement, no emotional expenditure without clear intent. Think about the titans of history. Men like Alexander the Great, who carved empires out of sheer will. He conquered kingdoms, yes, but first he commanded himself. His relentless drive, his strategic brilliance, it all stemmed from an internal discipline that made him impervious to the internal chaos that cripples lesser men. He understood that the greatest battle is often fought and won within. This is the ultimate game, not against others, but against the unexamined parts of yourself, the parts that undermine, that sabotage, that bleed you dry. When you bring these forces under your command, when you face the shadow and integrate it, you become whole, you become dangerous. Your passive anger, once a silent saboteur, now stands in formation, awaiting your orders. It is a weapon, forged and sharpened, ready to deploy at your command, never against you. This is not peace. This is absolute control. From this moment on, you are the general of your own war. Every emotion, every impulse, every shadow within you now serves one master, you, and you will show them no mercy.